ask you a question and I want you to be honest with yourself. When you imagine yourself and what it's like to live in a body without pain, without chronic fatigue, without gut dysfunction, without migraine, what does that look like to you? What does it feel like when you put yourself in that place? I'm not talking about coping or surviving or getting by. I'm talking about living a life with vitality. Or is there part of you that really doesn't believe that that's possible for you anymore? Have you quietly stopped believing that that is a future that could actually be real? Before we jump into the science of symptoms and healing and my story, I just want to introduce myself. My name is Courtney Soma. I am a board certified health and wellness coach, holistic nutritionist, and certified personal trainer. And I've been on my own healing journey for quite some time now. I had dealt with chronic pain, migraine, and severe gut dysfunction for many years of my life. And I am here to share what is possible for women with their health and their life, because there is another side to this story. Now, we commonly hear today a lot about the gut and how much of a role it plays into our overall health, but we're gonna dive into a little bit of the science behind it and why gut health is so important. We hear about it, but we don't really know all the ins and outs. We might hear the terms leaky gut thrown around, and we see all sorts of different supplements and SIBO and Canada, and we really don't know if any of this applies to us or what the significance is. So let's just talk about it a little bit. So if you're not familiar with this already, the gut actually has its own nervous system called the enteric nervous system. And Dr. Michael Gershon at Columbia University actually found that the gut lining contains over 100 million neurons, which is crazy. It's something that's completely unfathomable to me that the gut would have 100 million neurons, but actually super interesting and super exciting to start thinking about. And there was a review in 2019 that actually showed that gut dysbiosis, or an improper balance of the different gut bugs inside the gut, actually played a huge role in chronic pain, fatigue, autoimmune conditions, and mood disorders. So knowing this and these findings actually goes to show how much of an important role the gut plays in our overall health. And what influences gut health are nutrition and also nervous system regulation from a mindset perspective. But what does this mean for you? It means that symptoms like brain fog, fatigue, and chronic pain that might seem completely unrelated can actually be profoundly impacted by the gut. And when we focus on nutrition and nourishment that focuses on our internal systems like the gut and the immune system and the liver, then we can begin to heal from the inside out, and the body can actually begin shifting. We can shift out of fight or flight and into rest and digest and repair and restore. Healing the gut is one of the most powerful healing levers that we have at our disposal. We also know that chronic pain is a nervous system pattern, but we also know that these patterns can change. They are not fixed. It is not finite. So that fibromyalgia, the arthritis, the chronic pain that you're dealing with for seemingly no reason, that migraine, this is a nervous system pattern, and there are other things at play. Yes, absolutely. However, when we have a dysregulated nervous system that is stuck in a pain cycle loop, then symptoms persist stronger and more frequently. But we actually have more control in this pattern than we previously believed. Research actually shows that when we are living with chronic pain, the nervous system becomes sensitized, which means it becomes more sensitive to stimuli that it usually wouldn't be sensitive to. And different triggers are more triggering to some individuals than another, which is why a trigger for me might not be a trigger for you, or while someone without an ultra-sensitized nervous system could have no symptoms at all with all of these triggers. And there's different things that play into this. Some of these things being our food, some are environments, different things that we're exposed to. There's a huge role that pathogens and heavy metal plays in the sensitization of our nervous system. What happens is pain signals actually get amplified in many cases without the presence of a trigger. The brain turns the volume up on pain even when the trigger is gone. When our nervous system is in this constant sensitized, excited states, that is when pain continues to persist on a loop. But when we recognize that this pattern can be interrupted and we can form new neural pathways just by practicing, just by interrupting our typical thought pattern around pain, we can begin to shift the path that the body takes internally and quiet these pain signals that are being sent. We actually know that the practices that signal safety in the body, that signal rest, connection, regulated breathing, these both measurably reduce pain and inflammation throughout the body. Healing from chronic pain isn't just about the tissue that the pain is occurring in, it's about the nervous system. And the amazing thing about the nervous system is it's malleable. It can be altered with a little bit of intention. Something else to take note of is inflammation in the body. An anti-inflammatory whole food plant-forward nutrition lowers inflammation and creates symptom relief. And we can see this in the scientific literature. Large-scale studies actually show that anti-inflammatory nutrition lowers inflammatory markers in the body by 40 to 50%. So this isn't just random wellness jargon. There is a physical impact of our nutrition on inflammatory markers in the body. And when we have chronic inflammation, it leads to symptoms, right? So if we can lower that inflammation, then it can reduce the amount of pain and symptoms that we feel and also prevent the progression of what we have going on already. This gives us the space to work on other things to help get that inflammation down even a little bit more, whether it's immune system support or, like I said, liver, gut health support. All of these things work together. And if we can simply lower our inflammation with the food that we eat, this allows us to focus on other things that can continue our healing rather than being stuck on a hamster wheel, feeling like we're running in circles and getting nowhere. And if you've been following me for any time at all, you know that liver support is huge for me as well. I think all of these internal systems that are constantly overlooked are so impactful for our health. But what we know is that the liver performs over 500 metabolic functions. It is not just our detox organ, okay? It does a lot, and it does not get credit for a lot of the things that it does every single day, day in and day out. But when the liver is overburdened, either with stress hormones, inflammation that's circulating in the body, metabolic byproducts, viral and bacterial byproducts, different toxins and things that we're encountering in our environment and our food, it becomes sluggish and systemic. Our whole body inflammation increases. So making sure we're supporting the liver is huge. If you didn't snag the Liver Love Guide with your recipe pack and email mini course, now would be a good chance. The link's in the description below. vitalityholistichw.com/liverlove is where you can get it. But at the end of the day, this isn't about eating perfectly. This is about eating so we're supporting our internal system so the body can do what it does best. It was designed to thrive. It's designed to reproduce, to extend the human race. It is not designed for you to sit here and live a life of pain. I'm going to share something that's a little more personal to me, and this is my story, my journey. I have dealt with chronic symptoms for so long. As a teenager, I had chronic IBS. It was very uncomfortable for many years of my life. Chronic migraine, sitting on the floor in the kitchen in tears, wondering if this was going to be the rest of my life. Sitting at our kitchen table, debating on whether or not I should spend the $20,000, if we could even come up with it, or slap it on a credit card or two to get to the Diamond Headache Clinic. And oh, by the way, that was just to get me there. I didn't know if their solution would actually help. I didn't know if it was just going to be more Russian roulette with medication, but I was grasping at straws, trying to figure out how to heal my body. Because in my early 20s and 30s with young children, I didn't know if this was going to be what the rest of my life looked like and how much worse could it get. I missed out on time with friends, with family, and even if I was there physically, many times I was in pain, whether people knew it or not. But you get so good at living with it, just dealing with it. You have to cope. Nobody wants to complain all the time. Maybe that's you. Maybe that is resonating. Maybe you're going through the same thing, but I literally thought that was my life. And I had no clue if it was going to get 10 times worse over the next few decades. What shifted everything for me was one journal article that I read on nutrition and migraine. And I just remember thinking, I cannot believe that out of all the neurologists, all the specialists, all the people that I've seen getting injections, going out of state, trying, different therapies, dry needling, PRP, like all of the things, elimination diets, how come this has never been brought to my attention ever? Just something I have to live with, or try this medication and we'll talk in 3 months. So for me, it started with nutrition. And then came the mindset and identity work and layering in different aspects of healing lifestyle. And it's not about doing everything all at once. It's about doing things consistently, and things began to shift. I'll tell you what, after a few weeks of altering my nutrition, the IBS that I had dealt with for almost 20 years was pretty much gone. If I have a flare now, it's only because I'm rushing around when I'm eating and I'm just scarfing down food, which I know I shouldn't be doing. But the pain and discomfort that caused me for many years of my life is gone. Going from having near daily migraines to most of my days being pain-free is liberating beyond what words can describe. And that is my hope for you, because even if you can't see the way out, there are solutions. There is hope. And if I can heal, so can you. Oftentimes we get into this thought process that, oh, well, it's not going to happen for me, or they had X, Y, and Z available to them. No. If one person can do it, is it not true that it's possible for you? Now I get to spend time with my children without worrying about pain. I get to throw a ball with them and move my body without worrying about chronic joint pain. And healing is not linear. We all have our ups and downs. Not every day is perfect, but I'll tell you what, I have my damn life back. And what would it feel like if you had yours back? If you could feel 50% better. When I started on this journey, I wasn't even thinking I want to be migraine-free or pain-free. That was a pipe dream, maybe. It was, if I could feel 50% better, that would be a win. What's your win? What would success look like to you? And what could your life be? There were days where I would have to leave my job because I was in pain. And now I get to help other women heal. I never thought I'd be running a business helping women heal. And here I am. It's literally my life's purpose. What is yours? What is passing you by staying where you are, or believing the lie that this is how your body's just going to be? So maybe this is really hitting home for you and you want to learn more about how I can potentially support you and what your future could possibly look like when we give the body what it needs to heal. You can head over to vitalityholistichw.com/book. There is a quick questionnaire, but you can pick some time to chat. And if not, if you're not ready for that, go ahead and watch the next video where I'm going to explain a little bit more about the pillars of vitality and why they're so important and necessary for healing. With that being said, I hope everyone has a beautiful day, and I will see you on the next one.